Hello and Happy New Year. I'm Jessica Barbier, your host for the Cox OC Connection. I'm excited to be here today and kick off the new year with our friend and partner, the Ocean Institute in the beautiful Dana Point. With us today to talk about all of the happenings in 2015, I'm joined by Kaisa James, who's the Vice President of Development, as well as Jonathan Witt, who is the Senior Education Director. Welcome, Happy New Year, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're our first show of the year. Kaisa, let's start off with you. Can you give us some background on the Ocean Institute?
Absolutely. We have been in existence since the late 70s. We are an amazing facility down in Dana Point Harbor. We are lucky enough to serve over 100,000 school children a year in 60 different ocean, environment, education, history programs that are experiential, and we basically bring the classroom to life for them. And I think Jonathan, as our education director, can really highlight a little more to our programs, but the Ocean Institute itself, our mission is to use the ocean as our classroom to inspire children to learn, and we do that every day.
In addition to the students that come to visit, about how many visitors do you get a year at the Institute?
Including our public programs on the weekend, we serve about 100,000.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Jonathan, I know there is a lot of exciting changes right around the horizon for Ocean Institute, but before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the existing programs. I know that you have programs both for visitors and for students alike.
Absolutely.
So let's start on the visitor public side and what's offered to our community.
Well, you know, it's really, right now, we're inviting them on the weekend to really get a snapshot of not just local Dana Point ecology or local history, but really the experience that our students would have on any one of our educational programs. So from as young as kindergarten all the way up through college, they're going to go through a variety of activities within our laboratories, out on our research vessel, or on one of our historic tall ships. So what the public gets to see is, again, a tailored version of some of those really fun, immersive, hands-on activities.
So in addition to the programs that are open to the visitors, you have a plethora of programs for students. So let's talk a little bit about the local school programs you offer.
You know, it's truly a unique experience. You know, as Kaisa said, we really want to transform the classroom experience, really give them an opportunity to do something that they would never really have the opportunity to do. Go out into a research vessel for the first time, to see live animals, to incorporate that into a unique experience. And again, every day is different. You know, we're seeing students from all over Southern California, again, as young as kindergarten all the way up through the college level. So each day is unique and special at the Ocean Institute because it's different students coming through, and our staff have the opportunity to engage them in a very unique and special way.
Another unique approach about your programs is it's a very hands-on approach. One of the programs specifically is the Special Needs Visiting Classroom Program. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. We want to be an educational resource for all of Southern California and not to be exclusive of any student. And often those special education students have those physical limitations, even specifically just getting to Dana Point. So we have our great Ocean in Motion van, and that's just kind of our vehicle to get into the classroom. So we're bringing then what we would do in Dana Point to schools all over Southern California,
And I know there's a long list of all the different programs. There's the Girls in Ocean Science Conferences, the Watershed, Earth's Changing Climate. So how do you decide what programs for which school? Is it requested by the local schools, or how is that determined?
You know, it's really up to them. We want to develop curriculum that, you know, mirrors educational objectives in the classroom for that particular grade level. So we'll kind of develop things organically that way. And then at that point, it's really up to those schools that are interested in that program. So we'll get out there, get the word to them, and say, we'd love to have you participate in these programs and do everything that we can to make that happen.
And we're looking at some footage right now, and I actually had the unique opportunity to come and watch when one of the classrooms was there. It's like, where was this when I was a kid? Because I used to go to museums and you can only look, but to get your hands involved, and some of the kids were like, I've never seen the ocean before, and you wouldn't believe that in Orange County, but you hear those stories firsthand from the kids.
We see it every day, and our tagline is "Experience is the teacher," and that is absolutely what we believe.
Kaisa, let's talk now about the Maddie James Seaside Learning Center. If you can give us the background on the Learning Center, as well as let's talk about the next phase of expansion.
Absolutely. Well, the Maddie James Seaside Learning Center opened in May of 2013, And I became involved in the Ocean Institute first as a parent. My daughter Maddie went to a summer camp program there and fell in love with it, and I saw firsthand the experience that she had at this amazing place. And soon after, she was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor and passed away in 2011. But we decided to start a foundation in her name, and amazingly, through the support of the community, we raised $1 million in 3 months to name the Seaside Learning Center after her. So just about the time when the Seaside Learning Center was opening, the position that I hold now came available, and they gave me a shot, and I'm so happy they did, because now I can live every day with purpose in her memory.
Yeah, every time I'm in Dana Point, everyone's talking about Maddie James, and everyone got behind it, and it's just such a beautiful way for the legacy to live on, and it's continuing to grow, and I've been hearing about the expansion, so I'm excited to hear what's going to be happening in the coming phases with the expansion of the center.
Definitely. So phase 2 is what we call it in-house. It's basically, right now we're only open to the public 2 days a week because we serve the schools on the weekdays. We are repurposing our lobby and a part of the Maddie James Seaside Learning Center, and we are going to be open to the public 7 days a week, which is so exciting.
Congratulations on that.
It's long overdue, and we turn people away because it's such an iconic building and it's such a beautiful place, and people want to come in, and we don't want to turn anybody away. So now we finally don't have to. And so it's in the design phase now, but there will be a series of exhibits. Basically, our 3-story lobby will be turned into an underwater kelp forest with some new aquariums.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And we're actually giving some visuals to our viewers right now too.
So that's our Dana Headlands aquarium, which will be in the main lobby. This is our Sea of Stars, what we're calling it, and it's kind of our take on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. For major donors, those plaques will be embedded into the ground with the donor recognition. This one's kind of dear to my heart. We really took a look at who we were turning away, and it's a lot of the stroller moms, a lot of the moms that are looking for something to do with their kids. So this is an oversized, basically a tide pool playscape. And so anything that you would see in our local tide pool habitat will be in this, and it will teach the children what there is in and how to touch them properly and what to do with them. And that particular one, we have a local artist doing a mosaic wave, and so all of the major donors of the Maddie James Foundation will be embedded in that wave on that sitting wall. So
that is so incredible and
really
so
excited.
exciting.
Yeah.
And to be part of your daughter every day by watching this grow and expand and have the support of the community. So speaking of that, where are you guys at with funding? Do you already have some funders that have committed to the project?
For the naming opportunities, yes, we've had some wonderful support there. We are always looking for support to help our annual fund. You know, we always are in need of funds. And the Sea of Stars Walk is really where my efforts and my team's efforts will be moving forward to help support our programs move forward.
And if your hands aren't full enough with that, I know it's also a busy time of the year because you also have your annual fundraiser, which is the Jazz Festival. So can you guys give us the nuts and bolts of this event?
Definitely. It is our 13th annual Jazz Festival. This year it will be January 23rd through the 25th. We hold it on site at the Ocean Institute in our beautiful Samueli Conference Center. We have Rick Braun and friends, Norman Brown and Elliot Yamin, and a group called DW3 that will be playing. And what's great about this is that it's a 3-day event, and so there's something for everybody. On Friday, it's a little more low-key. There's wine and appetizers. It's a theater-style concert. Saturday is a sit-down gala. We have amazing support from all the local hotels, the executive chefs from the St. Regis, the Ritz-Carlton, the Montage, the Laguna Cliffs Marriott, I can't forget them, the Balboa Bay Club, and the Park Hyatt Aviara. All these executive chefs get together and they put together a menu, and they actually come to the event and they present their course. I mean, there's
You're
nothing
making me
like
hungry.
it.
My mouth's watering.
And so you have this amazing dinner presented by these chefs and this intimate concert for less than 200 people and a beautiful silent and live auction. So
that sounds great. It could be a perfect date night, fun with your friends,
definitely.
Family, or is what's
Sunday is much more low key.
Okay.
It's a Sunday concert and definitely more family oriented on Sundays.
Well, that sounds great. Sign me up. Where do our viewers go if they want to learn more or get tickets to
Absolutely. They can go to oijazzfestival.com. And sponsorships and tickets are still available, so we would love to see you there. And what's great, I just love that this program itself supports our Adopt-a-Class program, which is something that Cox has supported. Our long-term, our volunteer, Frank Capilupo, he won your Cox Conserves Hero Award last year, and we received a grant for $10,000. And so every year at Jazz, we kind of highlight an Adopt-a-Class. And basically, this Adopt-a-Class program, it funds children who couldn't otherwise come to the Ocean Institute. Over 10,000 children a year are
such a great program.
Yeah.
We're actually looking at footage right now of Frank getting the Cox Conserves Heroes Award this year, and the commercial is actually running live right now. But yes, you would not know that he's a volunteer. You would feel like he's a full-time staff that's been there for as long as it's been in existence.
Yeah.
And that's truly what you see with all your volunteers when you walk into the Ocean Institute.
We wouldn't be who we are without them. We're so lucky to have them. And Frank's trip, we actually filmed it. It was at the end of December, and right before the holidays, and I was lucky enough to go out on the boat with them with these little second graders from Laura in Anaheim. And like he just said, most of them never had been to the ocean, had a connection to the ocean, and we are sitting on the RVC Explorer in this 1,000-pod of dolphin pool, just swimming, surfing the bow, and this little girl just looked at her teacher and said, "Am I dreaming?" And I mean, I'm telling you, these things happen every day, and it's what we do, and it's just, and Frank was there, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day.
Breathtaking moment.
Yeah, so
for the Adopt-a-Class, those are for classrooms that can't afford it or it's not in the budget to be able to attend.
Absolutely.
So do the schools apply, and then you try to find donors to match it up?
Absolutely, and we get over 200 applications a year that we try and look for donors to match with those schools. There's plenty of schools who want to come that just don't have the funding, and so our job is to find the funding for them.
On average, how many schools are being granted those opportunities a year?
We have been lucky enough to, well, I know that we serve 10,000 students a year through Adopt-a-Class. So we are not at capacity as far as our programs. So there's always, if we have room, we can have another school in. So there's always room.
So we'll put a plug in for all the corporate and individual and family foundations out there that want to get involved. And it's really great how you invite the donors back to get to see it firsthand.
Definitely.
And I think that's really important.
We invite them on the trip. They can come out on the boat. The kids write the most beautiful thank you letters to the donor. It's really, they really do see where their donations are going.
For our viewers at home that want to learn more, they want to volunteer, they want to do an Adopt-a-Class grant, where can they go? Can you give that website one more time for more information?
Yeah, well, the one I gave before was specifically for the Jazz Festival, but our website is ocean-institute.org, and everything can be found there.
And when, do you guys have an ETA of when this might be a hard question, when the Ocean Institute will be open 7 days a week for the public? Or is that kind of a work in progress?
It's still a relatively work in progress. I mean, we're hoping within the next few months to kind of begin installation, and then as we kind of have everything set and ready to go, you know, we're going to open it up to the community, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
See, Barbara Walters, I'm asking the hard questions. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for the work that you're doing on a daily basis for our students.
Thank you very much.
For all of you at home, thank you for joining us. And to find out information on our local programming, please visit our website, cox3.com. And to check out what we're doing in the community, please visit our website, cox-cares.org. Thank you again.